Is unsolved homicide since 1992. The waters are so powerful, you can see that it's taken off some of the road here because already tonight, branches like this have come crashing down. In just a few hours, you'll be able to shop at retail stores across the Commonwealth and you won't pay any sales tax. News of yesterday's accident didn't stop boarders or skiers for a fun day. We talked to a lot of those people who were outside here today. They really didn't know what was going on. Some thought it was powerful winds, others thought it was construction. We're live here on Route 20 West in the town of Chester, and CBS 3 Springfield was the first station on scene, so take a look at that video that we got earlier. We know 2 vehicles were involved in this head-on collision. Officials also tell me 3 people were transported to the hospital for, quote, serious neck and head injuries. Now 2 people are at Bay State Medical Center in Springfield at this hour. Another was taken to Noble in Westfield.
I'm definitely misunderstood. I'm just a normal person. I'm not a bad person, so.
Taking his last steps as a free man, convicted felon Michael Jakes turns himself in after a federal jury found him guilty yesterday of burning down the predominantly black Macedonia Church of God in Christ the night President Obama was elected in 2008. Do you have any apology for the church, even though you say you didn't set it on fire?
No, honestly, I am sorry that did happen. I obviously didn't do it. My heart does go out for those people, but I am innocent. And I will appeal, and justice will prevail.
The mostly white jury found Jakes guilty of conspiracy to violate civil rights, damaging a religious property, and using fire to commit a felony. After the verdict came down, the judge allowed Jakes to spend one last night with his family because his gravely ill father is on life support at Bay State Medical Center.
He's in critical condition. He could easily lose his life.
Did you spend the last few hours with your family, with your father in the hospital?
Last night and this morning, yes.
Listen, my husband is gravely ill in the hospital. My son went to jail. How would you feel?
After coming and going to the federal courthouse with Michael Jakes for several weeks now, today the family walks alone. Jakes is now in custody. Are you scared about going to prison?
Yes, obviously. Who isn't? Obviously.
What's your biggest fear?
Being alone, missing my family, and then having to live that kind of lifestyle when I shouldn't have to.
Rescue squad, Chief 1.
Emergency crews are busy responding to calls like this one.
Responding to seal activation with symptoms. AMR is responding.
It's one of hundreds of carbon monoxide calls that Springfield fire officials have responded to as a result of Saturday's snowstorm power outages.
We'll get back to you with another assessment what the situation is.
Many have been rushed away by ambulance because they were exposed to too much CO, and officials say it's because of something like this or this. There are ways people without power are staying warm in the comfort of their own homes, not having to sleep inside a shelter. But propane heaters have proven to be the most deadly so far. Officials say they've caused 3 of the 4 carbon monoxide-related deaths this week. And the most recent victims, a man and woman found dead in Bondsville yesterday, thought the heater was safe because it says so right on the tag. It's safe for indoor use, but not in a confined space. Officials say the 2 in Palmer died because there was no ventilation to get rid of this silent killer. Today, a man in Worcester died in his home. Officials say he had carbon monoxide poisoning because he was running a generator from inside the house, something officials and this resident say shouldn't be done.
I wouldn't run anything in the house.
His generator is outside, about 15 feet away on the patio. The space heaters are still running and the family is still breathing because the carbon monoxide from this generator is not filling their house.
I'm just going to run it as long as we need to.
No carbon monoxide worries in this house either.
It's been very cold.
That's because they're roughing it the old-fashioned way, bundled up, layered, and using their own body heat to stay warm and CO-free.
Yeah, carbon monoxide poisoning is not on my bucket list either.
CBS 3 Springfield's Natalie Tolomeo has been following this story for more than a year. She was in the courtroom today and joins us live with the details. Natalie.
That's right, Matt. Members of Valerie Gerard's family I spoke with today tell me they say 2 lives were lost here. First, that loving mother of 2, and then today, the life of the 20-year-old who killed her in cold blood. Emotionless as a judge revealed his fate.
Life without parole.
20-year-old Jesus Garcia will live the rest of his life in state prison.
Today is the beginning of the end of his life as he knows it.
On July 30th, 2010, an armed Garcia rode his bike from Springfield to this Hampton home of Valerie Gerard. Garcia called her a second mother and was her teenage daughter's ex-boyfriend. But that night, Garcia stabbed Valerie to death in front of her daughter, then turned the knife on another man who lived inside the home.
Jesus Garcia took my mother's baby, me and Kathleen Sissy, Mariah and Madison's mommy. The defendant took the life of an amazing woman who helped everyone who came into her path.
After a jury found Garcia guilty of first-degree murder yesterday, today he was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. Valerie's family addressed the court.
I hope the memories will haunt him, and he recognizes the magnitude of what he's done. Because of him, I can't hug my mom anymore. Because of him, I'll never get to have that mother's love again.
Valerie Gerard was my best friend and mother. Every day for the rest of my life, I will miss her. She will never be there to help me with my problems and to talk to.
Garcia's family was also in the courtroom, tears on their side as the convicted murderer left in handcuffs.
Valerie also saved the life of another that night. To that I have no doubt. We will never know the name of that person, but after listening to everything here, it's clear. I fear he would have committed an act like this somewhere down the line because he's a demon. Val's in heaven, and hopefully Mr. Garcia will burn in hell.
Now, it took the jury only 6 hours to find Garcia guilty of first-degree murder, and that charge has a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. But today, the judge also sentenced Garcia to 7 additional years after that life sentence for the other victims involved in this murder. That's the latest live from the Hampden County Hall of Justice. I'm Natalie Tolomeo, CBS 3 Springfield.